All right. Islam, 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 and welcome to Sisters Standing on Law. This is your host today, Anna L. And I don't think that Rouse will be joining us today. She has some things that she needs to take care of, but the show must go on. So here I am, Sister Standing on Law, Anna L. Welcome. Well, geez. Today's broadcast is going to either give people food for thought or it is going to absolutely piss some people off. Now, and I'm premising this broadcast with this because this is the reality that we're dealing with here. We as a people should be able to come together and talk about anything and not get angry, to review it, analyze it on the face of the information that's being provided. It ought not to be rejected or even accepted because of ego. It absolutely ought not to be accepted or rejected because you either like or dislike the person presenting the information. That is absolutely contrary to just common sense thinking, really. All information is, in fact, worthy of evaluation. Nothing should ever be just totally discarded unless it is so far to the left that it is just blatant destruction of family. So, with that in mind, I'm going to say a special little cautionary for the sons, because you guys you don't want. Sometimes you just totally block information. You just throw it right out the window because it doesn't support what you think may be. And the same thing goes for sisters. Do not agree with it. But I will say this. Many sisters will automatically throw things out that are especially pertinent to them because they have already been they've been psychologically traumatized or psychologically damaged. Many sisters right now, today, they are operating and suffering under psychological damage. And this psychological damage, we need to evaluate, we need to investigate, we need to go to the root of, and we need to no longer participate in that. And we absolutely need to wake up. Oh, my God, if ever the sisters, mothers need to wake up, it is absolutely now. As a mother myself, I see how this destruction of the family is being passed on. It is being passed on. And because it is being passed on and mothers, for whatever reason, is not waking up, our numbers are decreasing. We might say, oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. And I'm going to speak to that in a moment. But I want to just read the syllabus. Now, the syllabus that is on the Blog Talk Radio is not the syllabus in its entirety. The entire syllabus, as it relates to tonight's broadcast, it is on the MHHS Eyes Wide Open Facebook, the moorishnews.wordpress.com website. So you can go and look at it, and you can read it, or you can just follow along. As long as there is a boys' club, we will never rise. Why do we find ourselves in this situation? Why are we still here? The answer We keep doing the same thing over and over again. So the nation, yet the nation is in her womb. So who is rising and who is to wake up? Wait a minute. So who is asleep? Who is asleep? Who is asleep? Mother is asleep. She has been dethroned by her son. She is attacked by her son. She is exploited by her son. She is raped by her son. And still, she sleeps. Children, when you get on top, treat him nice. Noble Drew Ali, straight out of the prophecies and the statements. Who is he talking to, and who is he talking about? You see, when I first read that, I read it real fast. I thought it said they. I naturally, you see how the mind will replace what is really there with what you are only able to accept at that given time in about the modern European. But it doesn't say they. It says him, him, him. Who is he talking about? Noble Drew Ali. It is extremely sad to look at mothers around the world who are violently victimized by sons, and still she sleeps. Now, every time we talk about this, the only thing so-called noble sons can do when they hear this is get upset and about us like we trash. Well, if the shoe fits, wear it. And if it does not, then you ought not get upset. Very telling, isn't it? If company equals state, city, county, town, township, borough, country, nation, then what exactly are we talking about? Many do not know that the Moorish nation came about because of disobedient sons. A company that was established for sons by mothers. And every company since the establishment of the Moorish nation, which is a company, have come out of the Moorish nation established by other sons. Now, you might be asking, go back in time. I was just reading, some more of the history of Islam. Now, you have the Ottoman company. They call it the Ottoman Empire. The word Ottoman is talking about a family. And at the head of that family operation is the son. You have Arabia is another family. And at the head of that family operation is a son. You have Great Britain, a family. And at the head of that operation is a son. You have France, another company, a family. And at the head of that operation is a son. You have Russia. And at the head of that family operation is the son. The head of every company operation that has come about since the establishing of the Moorish Empire, a company, for sons created by mother, all these companies have been subsequently started by other sons. And now if you step back and you look at the activity, Persia, another family, and at the head of that family operation is the son. Mongol, the head of that operation is the son. All by Constantine, the head of that family is Constantinople, the head of that family is Constantine. That is so obvious. Like, it's not even, it's a no-brainer. the, it's crazy. How is it that we never saw this? This activity appears to be, what appears to be a nation. However, every prophet that has ever come has come to wake up mother to the truth. The nation is in her womb. That is the only nation. Anything else is artificial and not based in nature, science, or law. This really is the rise of the Moabite. Mother, wake up, mother. You are not a Moor. You are the Moabite, the true and only nation on this planet in this dimension. Now, that's the syllabus. I know, it's rough. But you know what? We as a people, we got to learn to take the bitter with the sweet. We got to look at things objectively. And you know what? I said this years ago at the National Theater in a class. I asked every son in the room this question. Tomorrow, you could live free, have access to anything, live comfortably, never have to be in fear of being hunted down to be used as cargo for the profit of some company. If you could do all of that and so much more tomorrow, would you help mother wake up? Would you get out of the way so that she could do what she has to do? Would you give up those seats that you have taken that truly belongs to her so she can do what she has to do so that we can once again be free? Would you do it? Would you really do it? Because right now what's happening is that we have been given so much misinformation. And this misinformation has been working on the ego. The ego. And the ego of the son as well as the mother. You only have to read the secret teachings of John to see how we got to where we are. The secret teachings of John tells you how it all began. It all began with mother. And it's so ironic and, more crazy than ironic because today you have so many sons, they want to take on these names of deities because they want to feel powerful. They want to feel like they're in control. That is exactly what was told in the secret teachings of John. The irony of it all is every deity in history, was a mother. So how is it that we have these sons running around here trying to take on the name of a deity that is female? It could only be because of ego. Only. Now, let's look at the other side of that coin. Mother, your dilemma is just a tad bit different. You see, you don't want to wake up and unite with your sisters because of your ego. You've been mentally, really psychologically traumatized to self-destruct or to destroy your sister. So when you see sisters working against sisters, that is the sign of psychological damage. When you see sisters doing things, that will cut another sister off at the knee, when you see a sister doing things where it absolutely demonstrates that she's not united. Because there's only one reason to be united, and that's so that the future generations can have a better life. Going on right now, you have sisters running around here, they trying to get themselves a boyfriend, or they trying to get themselves a husband. That's not even important right now. It's not even normal, really. You have mothers today who has been psychologically damaged to believe that the egg in their ovary that they was born with somehow was given to them by a species identical male that literally raped them, because the whole act of sex is not even a part of normal activity of our species. That's another story. But that's what I'm speaking of here can be substantiated, although it probably immediately will turn off a lot of people. Because why? Because because they do not want to draw a circle around their lower. They don't want, even though this is exactly what Noble Drew Ali said to do. He said, draw a circle around your passions, square up your conduct. That's your ego. All of your ego. That's your lower self activity. That's everything that is based on the five senses. And mothers, you participate in that. It's so distressing to me to hear a mother, talk about how she's looking for a sex partner. And she's being attacked. She's looking for a sex partner. And she's being attacked. It's crazy. A lot of people probably saw that movie, Lucy. There was a lot of major keys in that movie, Lucy. But one of the biggest keys that people missed was at the beginning. Morgan Freeman said, he said nature, but nature is really mother. When mother does not feel safe, she goes into immortality mode and does not reproduce. When she does feel safe, will then reproduce her own kind. Now, when I first heard this, I thought, oh, shoot, what the hell is going on in the psyche of mother that she is reproducing? And I thought about it, 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 and then I realized I shared this with another sister, and she saw what I missed. She said, the sister Anna E., mother is not reproducing her own kind. And I realized what she said. She broke it down for me. But I realized what she was saying. You see, because mother, this has all been foretold in the prophecies and the statements of Noble Drew Ali. We so don't get it. We so don't get it. It brings me so close to tears. Realize how we so don't get what Noble Drew Ali and every prophet has been trying to say. How we are so caught up in foolishness that we don't see what is being said, what is right in front of us. What does it mean? She is not reproducing. Here's why. You see, today, more and more mothers are giving birth to sons, not daughters. sons. If we don't have any daughters, we don't have a future. Because last I checked, only mothers can give birth. Because the reality of the situation is it is her egg that drops down into the fallopian tube, travels to the uterus, and if she so decides, will divide and begin that human being. So if we're not having daughters, we are slowly moving towards extinction, or we will be in the, you can sit here and you can deny it all you want, but I can go back. My mother had 2 daughters and 2 sons. Her sister had 1, 2, 3, 4 daughters and 2 sons. I had 6 daughters. Out of 6 daughters, only 1 granddaughter. What does that mean? Granddaughter passed. If that granddaughter, my granddaughter, does not have a daughter, my line is extinct, my mother's line is extinct, my grandmother's line is extinct, my great-grandmother's line is extinct. It's done. It's done. Do you people hear me? We are on a slow course to extinction or very close to it, because we will not give up this lie that has been told to us, that has generated our numbers decreasing. All you sons out there, you can feel like you Mr. Macho Man. You can beat your chest all you want to. If you think you having a baby, oh my God, it bothered me so much, because my daughters are all done. They're gone. They're done. They said, oh well, you know, a man can have a baby up until he's like 90 years. And I'm looking at my daughter, and I'm looking at her, and I'm thinking to myself, I can't even get that misinformation out of her head. Because as long as you believe that, we will be extinct. Because I don't know no male species that has given birth to a baby. It does not. It doesn't happen. It's not supported anywhere in nature. In fact, here's a few things to think about as it relates to nature. The human being, which is supposed to be oh so superior, the most superior species within the kingdom of species, is the only species where the mother gives her young to the male might sit on the egg, but that's it. And the human species is the only species where the male can take the mother's baby and go somewhere else, someplace where she doesn't even know. Where the babies of the mother can be taken by the son, and she never sees them again. Only in the human species that happens. There's so many things that is happening in this so-called advanced human species that no other species on planet Earth is doing. So we're supposed to be the most evolved. Is wrong with us? And when will we wake up? Will we wake up? You know, it's like we're like Noah and the ark. For years, Noah told people that there was a storm that was coming that would flood the earth. And people twisted Noah, and they ridiculed him. They called him all kind of names. They didn't want to believe what he's saying. Oh, no, you just stupid. Oh, whatever. Similar to what they do when women try to enlighten or take back her seat or her throne. They do the same thing. All of them ridiculed Noah until the rain began. But by then, it was too late. They was banging on the door, and what did Noah say? You can't open the door because it was sealed by an angel. And nobody can get in. Nobody. Say it again. And I'm speaking specifically to the sons. This is not an attack on you. All noble sons have their place. Every miracle son that has come through, a miracle son is a son that came through to wake mother up, knowing that he would be tortured and subsequently murdered. That's a miracle son. Every miracle son is today called a prophet. Prior to the son being the one to come through and wake up mother, I'm not making this up. You can confirm this. Prior to the son coming through to wake up mother, it used to be mothers that came through to wake up other mothers. But she was immediately murdered. You can see that in time. And then she was enslaved. So it was thought to, let's send through a son. Maybe the son will be able to reach the mothers and wake them up. But did you think that would go unnoticed? Every miracle son that is born, there are signs. The new moon, the new, what is it? The new star appeared in Bethlehem, right? Things happen to let you know a new son was coming through, possibly to wake up, or a miracle son was coming through to wake up mother. So what happened? Other sons who wanted to maintain the boys' club started looking for these signs. And what do you think happened when they saw these signs? Let me give you an example. In the story of Jesus, Yeshua, Herod was told that the king was coming, the prophet, the Messiah, to spread the good news. What did Herod do? Oh, somebody's coming to take my place? Somebody's coming to take me off my seat? Okay, we're going to fix that. Kill all male sons from the age of 2 and below. This is right in the Biblioteliotext. The mother asleep and keeping her from getting back on her throne so that this thing can get set straight. This has been going on ever since she created the sun. And some other things happened between the creation and the absolute retaliation and disobedience of the son, which sponsored the Moorish nation. But if you don't believe me, read the secret teachings of John. These are clues, things that are right in front of our faces. They're here. We can verify these things. Noble Drew Ali, he came so that we would wake up, mothers and sons, but especially mothers. But he already knew that, son, y'all was not going to take this. He already knew it. That's why in the prophecies and the statements, he said, there will come a time when you will send your child to the store and they will come back and they will say, Ma, I saw a man, because there ain't going to be too many of you. Why would there not be many sons? What would be the reason for that? It could only be because you don't want to let go of the lie. You don't want to allow mother to do what she has to do so that we can all be free. And sisters, some of y'all going to go too. Because if you're warring against your sister because of lower self activity is going to help you think again. If you're not linking arms with your sister and helping to uplift her or support whatever she has done, if you are instead dividing, and dividing, if you are continuing to wallow in your lower self instead of drawing a circle around your passions and squaring up your conduct, you're not going to be here for long either. All numbers are going to be decreased. They already are. We have less mothers today being born. Less mothers today being born. That means that we're already on a path to extinction or drastically reduced population. Drastically reduced. Doesn't have to be this way. Like Noble Ali said, we are hard-hearted people. We never did nothing except by the point of a sword. And then he also said, I gave you everything you need. The only thing left for me to do is kill you. Now, he's not going to kill us. Many of us, through our lack of paying attention because we choose to continue wallowing around in our lower self, we're going to kill ourselves. These things that we are engaging in, they are not normal. They are heavily promoted, such as sex. They are heavily promoted because they damage the psyche of the mother. And once her psyche is damaged, the chances of her rising will be slim to none. That means whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, she will, and anything that she produces will be nothing more than revenue generators for other sons on planet Earth. The reality of our situation. And if you don't want to wake up to that, then you have joined the line of extinction. That's all there is. There is nothing else. Now, again, this is not an attack on mothers. This is not an attack on sons. This is something to think about because, you know, if the future generation truly are concerned, then we need to learn how to put our egos aside and look at this information rationally and make change now. Not tomorrow, now. That's the only thing that's going to save us. That's the only thing that's going to make this number that is going to be extinct a smaller number. That means that we have got the foolish discussions, debates, all of it based on ego, all of it based on maintaining the boys' club. Look, what's crazy? This ain't never been a boys' club. Planet Earth is a womb. It's mother. The universe is a womb. It's mother. It's never been a boys' club. It has always been about Mother Nature. So let's stop behaving in this delusional fashion and let's begin to repair the psychological damage that we are operating under by doing one thing. Just one thing only. And what Ali said, if I can just get you to think, you would free yourself. So let's begin thinking. So with that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the lines. It's 1:45. We're going to go until we have no more callers or until 3 o'clock. if you have a question, a comment, a concern, you want to add to the discussion, you may have some alternate information. You may agree, you may disagree. It doesn't matter. Let's learn how to talk. So press 1 on your telephone dial, and I will begin taking callers. And don't everybody press 1 all at the same time now. This is a discussion that is open. And so let's talk about it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, well, I thought I had somebody in here. Oh, wait, here they go. All right. Caller 412-969. You are on the air.
Islam family. This is
Islam.
Energy.
Oh, Islam. Wow, I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, out here doing, handling my affairs, basically. Study.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate the class today, and I appreciate being able to get on today and hearing the wisdom that is being shared, thoughts that you pondered on concerning, our extinction. The great experiment might be just about over then. I call life an experience, so. And if we and our producers, it's like myself, I got the 3 sons and the 1 daughter. And when you put that down, I got to thinking like, whoa, because I remember there was a time my family thought I was barren.
Oh, wow.
And whatnot. And I even, even my own mindset was led to acknowledge it that way because I was told by practitioners that I was unable to produce children or progeny. And lo and behold, when it was time, it began and everything. So, and one of them is, a daughter, a mother, and I'm like, oh, shoosh. Just think about it, because like you said, if she doesn't produce, the bloodline is pretty much shot. And I'm like, wow, that's deep. I hadn't really thought about it. So I appreciate the class today. It was wonderful. Everything you spoke on was just wow. Yup. Like you said, we can't be warring against each other. It's really our work to do. Nobody else's, especially here on these shores, on this land. We really got to get it together. But I just felt like calling in and saying thank you for all the work that you all do, seriously. And all the work that's being done. I just appreciate it. So I'm not going to hold up the line. I yield the floor. Islam.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's great. You. All right. Well, it looks like we don't have nobody else who wants to comment on the topic. What? Okay, we got another. Oh, thank you. We got a couple callers. All right. So we've got caller 313-491. You're on the air.
Islam family. This is I am Low Hillman Bay. I wanted to just make a comment, and first and foremost, I wanted to thank you for the knowledge that you brought to the table. I would consider that law. Because that's mother's law. That was just put down for the universe. That was law. If you think about it, that was law because it came from the mother, about the mother, and regarding the protection and the protection of the mother and the reproduction of mother. And what I thought about what you asked when you said that if mother, it goes to the mother can't produce herself. And I took that on a couple of different levels. And I took that it was not only just producing a child, but producing herself, the DNA and the spirit of the mother, of how things work, not just a physical female, but in that female, not even even if it is it may be a male, but in that male, he gets the spirit of the mother. So regardless of whatever you male or female, you still, because I think about how I'm connecting back. I'm connecting everything back to my great grandmother. My great grandmother raised me, pretty much had a stick. She pretty much didn't raise me, but she was the most impactful person in my life because I saw what she did and her customs and things I just saw, and I didn't even have too many conversations with her, but I watched and I saw how she was the law. They would go over her house to eat. They would go over her house to celebrate. Over when something was wrong, they would go to her house to congregate. It was that was Mama, and she wasn't into the church and none of that stuff. But she was the law, and that's the spirit of just how mother, and how whatever she said go, you could be 300 miles away. Whatever she said, it got done, and not off ego, just off the sense of how she would break it down to, and it would make sense to the family, and everyone would just say, you know what, it could be 17 votes on one, and it would make sense. And I just thought about it in that aspect because in the physical realm, if you think about it, if we don't produce that spirit, then everyone out here is just living like you said, revenue generators, just getting to fall into someone else's plan instead of the plan of the great plan of the mother. I don't know if there's one specifically great plan, but I think the great plan is just to honor thy mother and thy father. You know what I mean? Which is I think that we are supposed to do. So just while you just delivering that, what you said kind of made me think about it and reflect and say, okay, I think that a woman, in order for a woman to produce, a woman is genius like that, she'll produce what she needs. Like if she needs protection, she'll produce a son. She needs a protection. She'll physically produce a son into her temple. She's the great creator, so she'll create that, and not just a sense of protecting her from anything harm, but it's protecting the universe because she's a mother. So a woman knows what's needed throughout the universe. So I don't know the magic. I'm not a woman, but I think that that's the magic of it. And but then you have to bring around the science of it, and also there are other people who know that science and they use it against us. So say, okay, if she's producing what she needs, so let me distract this male, by bringing him against her, by making him put out this poisonous. If he's a musician, put out this poison musician. If he's an actor, your mother, which is more, always know that fact. So it's kind of.
Islam, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I would just say that in short that it's in order for us to honor mother, and by me honoring mother, listening to mother, going back into trusting mother, going back into appreciating her on all platforms, then naturally we gonna get to doing what we have to do. Because you really don't have to be told all the way, because it's in your heart. You never have to be told not to kill your mama, not to steal. You really don't have to be told that kind of stuff. It's in your heart. But what society brings, different people, a different whoever it be, use technology, they use energy, they use all these things to distract us and to go. That's on our heart, because it can. That's what it's me thinking a little off base, but I just in the midst of it, I just think that we need. It goes back to honoring the mother and appreciating the mother on all forms. And with that, I use the floor.
Islam, all right. Let's go to our next caller. Caller 719-323, you are on the air. Islam, 719-323.
Hello?
Islam.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, this is Brother Bukhari, Bottle Bay. And I just wanted to say that, wow, this is a very interesting subject, and, one that requires a lot of thought. But, and it's hard to accept. I can see how it can be hard to accept on many different levels as a quote-unquote man. But I wanted to say that the one thing that I don't have a problem with agreeing on at all, without a doubt, is the fact that survivability is key. If you don't survive and if your numbers dwindle, and you're not producing quality anymore, that's physically, that's mentally, then it doesn't matter. But certainly keeping those numbers up, and mother has eggs. She's the one that has the eggs. That's it, and that's all. And if she's not allowed to do what she needs to do to bring more sisters in, to bring more mothers in, then obviously we're going to cease to exist. It's mathematical. It's basic math. If you have one generation prior that was producing X number of mothers, and then the subsequent generation is producing less than half, that's major. And on top of that, we're being hunted. Babies, our children, us from the youngest level continue to be hunted with each and every generation. And so at a minimum, these are the things that, we should be discussing and focusing on, as opposed to debating things that don't really have any substance, that doesn't really do anything for our increased education, our growth physically and mentally moving forward, and us being able to control our own daily affairs, things that we buy, things that we eat, things that we drink, the way that we raise our children. And so at a minimum, survival is number one priority. And you can't survive without mother being able to bring forth more mothers. And with that, I yield the floor.
All right. Our next caller. Oh, shoot. Where'd my next caller go? Thought I had another caller, but apparently I do not. Hold on a minute. All righty. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Caller, 513-200, Jayana. Lam.
Just wanted to say that, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I just wanted to say that I don't think it's so much of allowing mother to do what she needs to do or give her appreciation or something like that. I think it's more of herself, allowing herself to spiritually grow and to spiritually find herself, mentally, physically, emotionally, on all levels. And the only way she can do that is to first be with herself. Many times everybody's trying to be with somebody or trying to build with somebody or grow with somebody, but the reality is that every man must confess under their own vine and fig tree, meaning that everybody has to go find their own path in life, and in order to do that, you have to be with yourself. You have to really go find yourself. And so, a lot of times we're so busy being around so many people, we don't find time to just be by ourselves, to really isolate ourselves, to get our mental together. And if your mental is not together, then you're not gonna reproduce yourself at all. You're not gonna do anything. And if you are reproducing or creating anything, it's always going to be a mess. It's just a cycle going around, just bringing back more destruction on earth, whether it's male or female. They're both messed up.
That's right.
That come out the womb.
That's
because we messed up in the beginning. So it's not so much of, praising her, whatever. It doesn't matter. If she herself is not feeling herself, it doesn't matter. She can be around somebody who loves her or so-called love her. If she don't love herself first or find herself mentally together, then it doesn't matter. And so I think it's more of a sister, woman finding herself and to mentally be with herself and go and search and see what she needs to do to better herself from the inside, and then the outside will get better. But until the inside or the mental is not, until mental is right, nothing is going to be right, and whether she produces it or not.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. This is thank you so much for that. This where we are, we've been at this place for a very long time. And when you look back through the chronology of time, you can see where mothers have been, I'm not trying to come after you, sons, but the chronology of time speaks for itself. The only one, this is not about the ego. So putting mother on a pedestal, this is not even about, patting mother on the back or mother patting herself on the back. Because all of that is lower self activity. Nobody has to allow her to do what she needs to do because she's already built to do it. Okay? She's the only one that is built to do it, and she's the only one that can do it. So, hold on a minute.
Islam. And I was just going to say, to me, it's not just about surviving either, because we've been surviving. It's about living on a higher vibration. Because if it was just about surviving, that's what we're doing right now. And that's not enough. We need to be living on a higher vibration.
But
go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
you were saying something, then you said it on.
So, I was saying she already has everything that she needs. She doesn't need anything else. She doesn't need anybody to put her on a pedestal. This is not about pedestals. This is not about putting anybody on a pedestal. It's about allowing her to do what she was built to do, which in reality is, generation that's already knowing. To be honest with you, the reality of this is the reality. Because we get caught up in a lot of stuff that really is not true. Like, if we go and reread any of the ancient texts, all right, the whole reason that people manifest in this physical realm, is to grow spiritually. That's the only reason that we are here. That's the only reason we are here. I'm going to say it again. That is the only reason we are here. So we're not here to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend or marry. We're not here specifically to reproduce. We're not here to simply claiming the land. It was here first. We're not. Plus, we manifested it. This doesn't even exist. This planet Earth and everything on it and above it, it doesn't even exist. The salvation of the mind, chapter 1. We're not here to go to these institutions established by companies so we can get a degree or a doctorate or a PhD or whatever so we can get a good job. We're not here to establish some business. We are only here. The only reason we are here manifested in the flesh is to grow spiritually. You have a lesson here that you manifested in this time and this place with the specific circumstances that you was born into for one reason and one reason: grow spiritually. Those lessons that you needed to learn, you could only learn within those specific parameters that you was born into. All of those people who are like, oh, my mother was broke and I hated it, or my mother beat it up on me and I hated it, or God forbid, my father molested me and I hated it, or my uncle molested me and I hated it. All of those things, they were situated to happen because there was a lesson you needed to learn. And we get all caught in this physical body, but we are not a body. We are spirit man, just like it says in chapter 1 of the Quran. We are spirit man in a human flesh having an experience. So all of this attachment, all of the, Buddha gave up all worldly attachments for his salvation. Years ago when I read that, I was like, why would he do that? I understand now. Why would Yahshua go into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights? Why did the people liberated from the pharaohs of Egypt walk through the desert for 40 years? Why? Because that's the only way you're going to find yourself. That's the only way that you're going to go back, find your mind. Yahshua was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. Why? Because if you're hanging around with some of these so-called friends and family, they're going to suck you back into lower self-activity. And in order for you to get a grip of lower self-activity, overcome it, so that when you are in the presence of it, you do not succumb to it, is if you take yourself completely away from it for a certain amount of time so you can master self. All these people calling in talking about, I'm trying to uplift my man, I'm trying to uplift my girlfriend, my mate, my protege, my consort. We sound so stupid. You're not here for them. Nothing that you are learning can help them. It can only help you because this is your lesson. This is your life. This is your lesson. And the only way that we as a people, a true nation is going to rise is if we comprehend the mother's place and we put her back in her place by a bunch of sons. And last I checked, through the history, going all the way back to the creation, all sons do is fight. They fight, they see something that another son got, and they want it, and they will trample over all of the people between them and what that other son has to get it. That must end. And the only way that is going to end is if mother is back in her seat. And you know what? If some think that that's a problem, then you know what? I guess peace is a problem. Because that's what this is about. I am here for peace. I will make any kind of sacrifice to get to peace. This is what Buddha did. This is what Yahshua did. This is what, even Muhammad did to a degree. Even Noble Drew Ali, they all speak of it. How can they speak of it unless they already know it? Look, this is the way it is. You can fight it all you want to. It's not going to change the reality of the situation. All the hoping and wishing upon a star that you're doing is not going to change nothing. Science, nature, and law is absolutely in support of what I am saying and so much more. And none of the things that we currently participate in is supported by nature, science, or law. You got these people, mothers and sons, mothers are freaking out of their everlasting mind. And because they think that some guy raped them and a baby up into them. Because I don't care what you say. You go back into the chronology of time. Look, they even told you in movies like Wonder Woman, if there was no men, was there sex? Was there intercourse? No, it wasn't, because there was no male. Amazon jungle, Amazon warriors, no male. They was reproducing, though, literally reproducing. They were producing their own kind. Oh, people need to get out of their feelings. You know what? That's how we even got to this place. Go and read the Secret Teachings of John. It's all right there. We need to wake up. Mothers, this is on you. This is on you. Mothers, if we as a people become extinct, it's going to be because of you. Yes, it is. So keep on propping up your sons like they doing something. Keep on having sons and teaching them, oh, you're going to have a, no, damn well they can't have no baby. And keep on propping them up and getting them to think that sex is other than what it began as, which is rape. Keep on doing that, and we will be extinct. Mothers, keep on deferring and not wanting to take your proper seat and fix this thing. We will be extinct. Mothers and stuff, y'all can sit here all day long. Oh, that's Annie E. I can't stand her. She's mean. She's this. I don't like the way she talks. All of that is low self-activity, because the reality of the situation is we are being slaughtered right now, and that's all you want to do is find somebody to have sex with. Really? Wake up. On you if we become an extinct people. You mothers, because you the ones need to wake up. I went on a tangent, so I'm going to take the next caller. Caller. Wait, I got it. Oh, shoot, I got it. Caller 513-348, you are on the air. Oh, wow, I got a couple of them, 513. Hold on, 513-348, you're on the air.
Yes, peace and love and Islam to everyone.
All right.
My name is Prince.
How's that? You sound like you in a moving automobile. Oh, he dropped. All right. Caller 513-295. Oh, shoot. That one dropped, too. All right. Okay, wait a minute now. Caller 973-280.
All right.
On the
All right.
air.
Caller 513-295.
I hear the echo of my voice. Islam, is that you, Sister Carol?
Yes, I'm sorry. I missed the numbers. Islam. Oh, my goodness. I had to call in. I'm a little busy, but I just had to stop doing what I'm doing. I had to call. Heartfelt, soul, and spirit-felt conversation. And it's all about mothers. No matter what sons say, what they try to do, they just have to step aside and take care of themselves and help themselves. Because this is about us mothers. 100%. And only we, as mothers, are going to be able to, move forward and just bring this information to other mothers. And I heard Jayana earlier, and I agree with her 100%, that time about taking time for yourself. I found this out later on in life. I am more peaceful now than I've ever been in my entire life. And, it's all about running. You have to have this, you have to have, none of that stuff means nothing. I'm in a place right now that, oh, my goodness, I'm going to live and be who we are, Moabites. So when other young Moabites see me, they'll it'll reflect, or they'll wonder, they're interested enough to wow, maybe I should look into this. That's my purpose, and that's what I'm going to do. But, what a heartfelt, soul-felt conversation. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's beautiful. And I thank you. I love you, you and Sister Roz. I love you all. Jayana, everyone.
Yes.
Cynthia, the whole nine. It was good hearing Energy's voice again, too. Boy,
Yes,
I tell you, beautiful. But this is so true, and I understand. I understand 100%. I truly do.
Yes.
And thank you again, and peace and love.
All right, peace and love. Thank you.
All right. It's long before Sister Carol leaves. I just want to say, hey, I just wanted to say that I honestly vouch for Sister Carol. I had got the wonderful opportunity to spend time with her, and she, like she said, she learned it later in her life just to, be alone, get that time to be alone and just, find herself. And when I say, I spent the night, and it was the most peacefulest place I ever been, because she didn't have any type of negative energy at all in her home, at all. And we have a lot of Moors that, they talk the good talk and this and that, but they don't need them. It's just like, they don't practice nothing they preach. But Sister Carol, everything she is exactly what she is. And so I just wanted to give that big shout out to her, and peace and love.
Thank you. And all I can say is that I had my lessons to learn. If I didn't learn from them, then hey, that's the only reason I'm where I'm at today. I had to learn from my lessons. That ego, that wanting to be with someone, all that other stuff. So true. I've been there, and I look at it all as learning lessons. I mean, I've had happy, beautiful times in my life, and but this where I'm at right now, nothing compares to that. Nothing. That's how deep it is.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That just reminded me. I just wish. I hope that soon we could have like a really big sister conference. I know we've been talking about. I know Annie and Roz are talking about, but like really a sister conference where other sisters like Sister Carol herself and Roz have, being older, more wiser, and kind of been there and done that, and then can say, can actually speak from being in a position as myself, being younger and still kind of fighting my own demons, versus being in a position of coming up to where you overcome some of those things, and so I just would think it would be really, really great for us as sisters to just get together and really talk about our things that women go through, really things that women go through and things that we all struggle through, maybe whether we say it out loud or not, but we all go through the same thing pretty much. And so I just think that it would be really great for something like that to happen, and especially with Sister Carol being there to just that valid speech and let people know, So I just know you taught me so much, so I can just only imagine what you can do on a bigger scale. So Islam.
Islam. Jayana, I just want to say, and Sister Anna A., I have to give all honor to my mother, because after my father passed and what happened, Mom, I have to give, because even as a child, Mom was a strong woman. I mean, whew. And, and she laid down the law and what have you. But so I have to give all honors to her. And I only knew my grandmother, her mother, till I was 11. But from what I understood, Grandma kept up to that age, I saw how she kept everyone in check. So that's who I have to give my honors to, because I am her. I'm a copy. I just found out later in life, but I realized how much like Mom I am.
Yeah.
Peace and love.
Absolutely. All righty, peace and love. Thank you guys so much for chiming in with that wisdom. All right, let me take the next caller, because we got a few people. I want to hear what they got to say. Caller 513295, you are on the air.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Can you hear me? Okay, hi, peace and love. This is Sister E, Alitra L. And
hey.
How are you?
How are you?
Hey, I'm well. I just wanted. I'm not going to necessarily add to the show, but I definitely want to just say, as a comment, that this was so needed. It is a personal wake up again for myself, So I really appreciate you having this class today and teaching this lesson. As much as I'm still going through this journey in my life, you know, and much like you said, you know, a lot of times we get this information and we start wanting to get out here, but we have to get with ourselves first. We have to go within ourselves, and we do need to study. I will say that has been that's the best information anybody could have ever given me. That I could just tell you, you know, and I really appreciate this class. I really appreciate today what you put out there, because I agree 100%. What you said was very powerful about, and it resonated with me, is that if we don't get ourselves together, we're just going to continue to produce revenue generators. That's just killer. That's killer, and it just resonated with me. Really, truly did resonate with me. I just want to let you know that was so appreciative. I appreciate you taking out this time to have this conversation. I mean, like you said, some people may get emotional about it. I know every now and again, you know, throughout my journey, I may have gotten emotional about whatever it was. It may not necessarily been on this, but, you know, whether it's my mother telling me something, you know, most of the time people don't like to hear the truth, or they don't, because it's not always sweet, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking this time out to talk. I really appreciate it. One thing I want to add, if I may, when you spoke about Wonder Woman, the movie, I watched that not long ago, and what I took away from that as well is, like you said, the women reproduced themselves. They understood the evils of man, and when at the end, I guess it was Superwoman, when she came out of her place from her utopia where they were at and came out into the world, she seen like how the women had to play themselves down. She just couldn't understand it. Like they had to act weak. She like, really? Is this what this is about? Yeah. It was so foreign to her. It was just such a foreign concept for her to have to even get with that. Yeah. So, that's what I took away from that.
And we experienced that, because I'm listening right now. You did this. I don't care how you want to sugarcoat it. You did it. Because I did it. When I was young, I was a tomboy. So, you know, when I was a tomboy, I wasn't trying to let nobody beat me because, you know, I wanted them to notice me. I was a tomboy. So if we was racing, I was gonna, and I could beat you. I was gonna beat you. We was trying. If we was climbing trees and we was racing to the top, I was going, and I could get to the top before you. I was gonna get to the top. If we was playing some kind of sport, hey, I was not that look. I was gonna beat you. Now, as I got older, and I realized, okay, guys don't kind of like when girls beat them or are smarter than them. Then you start falling back. Yep. You don't realize you're doing this, but that's what you're doing. You start falling back, and you know, and it starts really young. So that by the time, and it's something that I fight with even to this day. By the time you get to a certain age, you go into automatic pilot where you to some degree, you play the dumb blind. To some degree, you play the dumb blind. And when I saw my daughters doing it, I was so upset. Because my daughters, they were super smart, and they were like really excelling, like really fast through this stupid system they call school. It's so stupid that my daughter didn't even have to show up to class, and she was passing. Okay? It's so stupid. But we send our children anyway. But she would be, when she did go to school, when she did go to the class, she knew the answers, but she wouldn't say anything, because if she talked as a girl, she wouldn't have any any attention from the male population. That may not like to hear this. Some people may say, that didn't happen to me. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. That's what we do. You know what? If you watch Whitney Houston, she did an interview, I want to say, with Oprah Winfrey. Even she admitted to doing that herself. Now, It's not to say that guys are stupid. It's just that you don't want, you're smart, but you don't want to, some people just, they don't get things like women get things. And so because that is the case, they might get their feelings all up in a bunch. So how do you get in with the in crowd? You don't display that part of you. There's a movie called Mean Girls. I know a bunch of my European daughters, but there's a movie, Mean Girls, where the little European girl, she spent most of her life over in the landmass they call Africa. She learned our culture, she learned our language, and she was very evolved. But when she came back into the United States and wanted to get in with the in girl, she had to dumb herself down. Because if she was too smart, they would look at her as an outsider. And they even showed you the different cliques of people and what those cliques were based on. And if you was like me growing up, okay, they got to a point in my life where I just didn't care. At one point, I probably was called a geek, because I was into computers, I was into cars. I was not that girl that was trying to wear makeup and dress cute and fly. That was so weird, talk about soap operas and all of this. I was not that girl. I wanted meaningful conversation. But if you wanted to be a part of a certain girl group, you couldn't talk like that. And if you did talk like that when you were part of the guys group, the guys didn't see you as a girl. They saw you as one of their boys, even though you dressed like a boy. So, you had, as a woman, as a sister, we got to fit in to these different dynamics depending on what it is we are trying to do. And it's crazy because the only one that's got to make these adjustments is mother. Nobody Riley said, look, I come to teach you to be yourself. If somebody needs to know how to be themselves, mother absolutely needs to know how to be herself because she adapts to please everybody.
That's right.
So she's and to her detriment most of the time. She adapts to please everybody, but it is usually to her detriment. So we definitely got to wake up.
And if I may add to that before I go, I could attest to that. As you were speaking about that, I was thinking about some times where when I was in school dealing with some of the men teachers, and it was, I was taught to shut up in a way. I couldn't, you're right. I had a teacher, I never forget, it was a Caucasian teacher, math teacher in geometry, and he would ask the question, and I would raise my hand eagerly, and he would pick me, and I would answer the question, and then he wouldn't say anything, and then he'll go to the next person and say it would be a male. And he would ask them, and they would say the same, give him the same answer, and he'll be like, correct. He'll validate them. And he used to do it all the time. He used to do it all the time, and it used to enrage me. And why I just said that? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why didn't he say? I said the same thing, That was a psychological game. That, sometimes that's very careful about these institutions, like you said, that we put our children in because of the psychological games that they play. And this man not only, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but I'm just being honest. This man was not only was he a Caucasian, but he was also a homosexual, and it was very obvious. I'm just, and these are the things that I can just attest to what you're saying. I didn't even have to show up to school. I would show up and just do the work. I would show up and take the test and pass. And they couldn't believe it. They could not believe that I didn't have to be there every single day like they did and pass. But I had a lot of men teachers that definitely, I apologize if I went low. I had a lot of men teachers that definitely tried to make me feel like that. So I can truly attest to what you're saying in regards to the school system. And like you said, how we're taught to not to just to be quiet and maybe just look pretty if you're pretty, and you know, whatever in this society. So you're absolutely right. You are absolutely in the wrong culture, and that's the other thing. We're just not in our culture, and therefore that would, you know, trying to even work in it would drive you crazy, because everything about that culture and everything about this society in which we find ourselves in is completely upside down, completely backwards. So I yield. Thank you again so much for this conversation. Thank you for taking my call. I love all of you. Peace and love.
All right. Peace and love. Thank you for that. All right. Let's take our next caller. The caller 267. I think this is Cynthia.
Yes. Yes.
Islam.
Islam, sister. It was good to hear Jayana and Sister Carol, too, all the callers that called in. Thank you for that, Sister Anna Eve. I learned a couple new things today, and you really got me thinking. You really got me thinking. I have always sought fellowship with other sisters, because I am one of 5 children, and I'm the only girl. Most people would say to me, "Oh, you're the only girl. You are spoiled rotten." And I'm like, no. My mother didn't play that number one. She was fair to all of us, although sometimes I felt my brothers did get a little better treatment sometimes than I got. But I was always, I guess you could say, pretty much independent, even as a child. And my brothers were a little more needy. So I understand. I get that. But as we celebrate the life of Aretha Franklin, as you know, who just passed, I've been reading a lot about her and watching a lot of the tributes. And I wanted to get back to what you were saying about ego and competitiveness. I find that so many of our sisters are in direct competition with one another for things that really are not that important in the overall scheme of things. And even with singers, they're competing and vying for the top position in the number one spots. And I saw some very heartwarming interviews with Aretha Franklin and various interviewers when she was younger, and you could tell that she was insecure sometimes. And her sister said, I think it was Irma, who said that sometimes she felt like she wasn't pretty enough, or maybe she was too fat, or whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. And I go back to our literature, our Moorish literature. We all are created with unlimited capacities for progress. And just knowing that all of that other stuff should go away and concentrate on what your strengths are. And I go back to one of my favorite chapters in The Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East, chapter 6. And I want to read, if I may, just a couple verses to talk about this talent
Absolutely,
issue.
yes. Go ahead.
And what we each bring to the table. Now I'm going to start with chapter 9. One day, a Jainan sat with Yahashua in the temple porch. A bank of wandering singers and musicians paused before the court to sing and play. Their music was most rich and delicate, and Yahashua said, among the high-bred people of the land, we have no sweeter music than that these uncouth children of the wilderness bring here to us. From whence came this talent and this power? In one short life, they surely could not gain such grace of voice, such knowledge of the laws of harmony and tone. These people are not young. 1,000 years ago would not suffice to give them such divine expressiveness and such purity of voice and touch. Men, all of them prodigies. There are no prodigies. All things result, what? From natural law. 10,000 years ago, these people mastered harmony. In days of old, they trod the busy thoroughfares of life and caught the melody of birds and played on harps of perfect form. And they have come again to learn still other lessons from the varied notes of manifest. These wandering people form a part of heaven's orchestra, and in the land of perfect things, the very angels will delight to hear them play and sing. And I look at Aretha Franklin and that voice she had, and it just seems like so many of those singers during that era have what I like to call a gifted throat, and they had their own distinct sound. I don't even know why there was competition among all of them, because I loved every single one of them. It didn't matter who was 1, 2, or 3. They all, I'm telling you. And I think Dionne Warwick might have come out a year or two before Aretha hit with Respect. And I was a Dionne Warwick fan from Jump Street. Now, when she's from the very beginning. And I thought that she had such an exotic look. And I would tell you, I was so mad at her when she got her teeth fixed, because I thought that was part of her beauty, and I was like, no. But I could see the beauty in all of them, and I appreciated all they had to offer, and they all made their fair contributions to what the Constitution calls the useful arts. Now, if you never heard that expression, you go to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8, and it's right there, the useful arts. So I would like to see, like Jayana said, us sisters just get together and just unite and fellowship and share. Oh, I think that would be the most wonderful thing. I know how excited I was to finally meet Sister Carol and Sister Jayana after hearing them calling in, as I listen from blog to blog, broadcast to broadcast, and some of the voices you get to recognize, especially Sister Carol. I always laugh because she has a very distinct sound to her voice. And I said, that's that Carol, Sister Carol. And I was glad to finally put a face with the voice and the names, and I think it would be wonderful. I think that we should focus on things of the higher self, and that means, as Sister Jayana said, vibrating at a higher level, aspiring to the mother of the harmonies. What is that verse? The definition of the higher self, the mother of the harmonies of life, and stay away as much as we can from that lower self, because a lot of this is lower self. And I was thinking, too, about a lot of the singers, Sister Annie, that have sons. Now, Aretha Franklin had 4 sons. And Dionne Warwick had 2. She has 2.
Oh, wow.
and I think Anita Baker, I think she has two, and there was somebody else. I think Gladys might have all boys. And you know,
I don't
you
recall.
really.
But look at this. But look at this. Now, you know, it's amazing that you talk about how Aretha Franklin had some insecurities because Whitney Houston had insecurities about herself. She didn't think she was pretty enough. She didn't think she really sounded well. She had this really insecurity about her hair, which is why she always wore wigs, even though she had good hair. And and she is one of the few female artists that I know of, successful, like super successful female artists that had a daughter. And look what they did to her daughter. That's the end of her line.
Whitney?
There's no Whitney Houston. Her line ended when they murdered her daughter.
Right.
So Whitney's line is done. Her mother's line is done.
Yes.
And their grandmother's line. That line is done. Now you tell me Aretha Franklin only had sons, and she just passed
only had
on?
sons.
Her line is done. Dionne Warwick had sons, and
two sons.
Is she still with us?
Yes.
She's still with us, but unless she has another child, and that child is a daughter, once she passes form, her line is done.
Yeah, she has two sons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really sparked this.
This is what we're looking at. We're looking at the extinction. We're looking at extinction, people, and all of it is being encouraged based on ego, because you know what? The only reason that this can happen, is because of ego. Look at this. You know, and I don't even know how I ended up with 6 daughters and no sons, because except that it just wasn't a part of my particular incarnation to have any sons, and I don't know what I would have done with a son after getting this information. I really don't know. I really don't know what I would have done with a son after getting this information. But, many of us, we are encouraged by the son we enter into a relationship with to have a son. Why is it that, I want a son, give me a son, give me a son, give me a son, give me a son? Where did that come from? That had to be implanted into our psyche by somebody who didn't have our best interest at heart. Because if everybody had sons, there would be no more Moabite nation. Well, there would be no nation of Moors, of Moabite or Moors. There would be no more nation. There would be no Moabite nation for real. And then maybe that's and see, here's the crazy thing about that. That is what is being encouraged.
Yes.
But the reality of science and nature and law is that nothing is coming out of a sun. We call it a sun because it's really a male is a female without the feet. A woman is a man without the womb. And if you read teachings of John, then you know we've been mentally conditioned to believe that there is a male and a female, but really there are no males. They're all females. It's just one can produce and one cannot produce.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what we're looking at. But if we get that into our head, looking at things, everything changes. Like, look at this. If everything is of a female nature, one that can produce a female and the other one that cannot produce the male without the feed, then everybody is in a same-sex relationship. Everybody is in a same-sex relationship. Everybody. And here's something else I'm going to drop on these people. This is going to be really taking it over the edge. But many of us, and I spoke with Jayana about this earlier this week, we participate in things that really is designed to keep us in our lower self. Yes. For example, this with sons, it is promoted. Circumcision is promoted, but circumcision is not normal. It's not a part of the heritage, culture, or customs of a people. And if you understand that the son is a degenerate or a different form of a female, what is the equal part on the female that is the male? In the female, you have the clitoris, and the clitoris, every female knows that there's skin that covers that so that it is not overstimulated to the point of desensitization. Every woman, imagine if you didn't have that protective skin, what would your day be like? Okay. Now, sons. They have sons versus their mothers are circumcising, really, which is a barbaric act. Absolutely barbaric. The baby's fresh out of the womb, and the first thing you do is cut off the tip of its pee-pee. If that's not barbaric, I don't know what is. Oh, and then it doesn't feel. How do you know? It's crying. It's feeling something. It's barbaric. But it's not part of our culture, custom, or heritage. Because once you cut off that protective skin, that child is going to be overstimulated for the rest of his life to the point he's now desensitized. And even if it's desensitized to a degree, definitely not to the same degree as the mother, okay, but he's desensitized. Every time he goes to do something as simple as urinate, he's going to be stimulated. Now, if your lower self is stimulated, you're not going to have any kind of higher self thinking. So you could be sitting somewhere having the most meaningful and intellectual conversation and be very highly stimulated, but you're going to have to get up and go use the bathroom. The minute you go use the bathroom, and men, you got to, damn near play with yourself to go use the bathroom, your higher thinking is gone. You're now in your lower self. That is by design. Absolutely by design. Absolutely by design. And a detriment to us as a people, because as long as people are in, and here's the thing, the crazy thing to think about. The circumcision thing was normal, all right? Why does it, in some parts of the world, they impose that on females. And it absolutely messes them up. So how is it that this act that they impose on the son doesn't mess him up, but if you impose it on the female, it messes her up. In some cases, for life. Well, both of them are messed up for life because that skin can't grow back. But many of the things that we are participating in, it is designed to keep us in our lower self. What did you Ali say? He said, draw a circle around your passions and square up your conduct. That means to draw a circle around all of the lower self activity, thoughts, and rein it in. And if you have to, like Yahshua, walk through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights so that you can purge yourself of all of this misinformation so that you can then begin your spiritual journey. Because as long as we're wallowing around in our lower self, we have yet to begin our spiritual journey.
Yes.
So let's see, Sister Cynthia, do you have anything more to add to that? I do have one more caller.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it came back to me what I was trying to say. You sparked my thought process when you mentioned the higher self. That's aspiring to the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life. That's important. And the tools of the workshop of the mind, that compass. We use that compass to draw a circle around our passions and desires to stay within the bounds of righteousness. And the reason why I read that passage from the Brotherhood, Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood, was to show that people come with these magnificent gifts, and they have gotten them over numerous, they have traversed, they made this journey many times, and each time they picked up something that made them better and better. And that's why we have such extraordinary talents that we have. And I think that if we could understand that, overstand that, and not have jealousy for one another, knowing that we have those possibilities too if we go within and work on ourselves. Know who we are. Aretha Franklin said on more than one interview that she was still trying to figure out who she was. And, I mean, I think to me she's undisputed, the undisputed Queen of Soul. I mean, I don't think
that. Yes, she is.
Yeah,
yes,
I think she held that position with
oh, my goodness. If I had,
there was no doubt about it.
I still can't believe that she passed form. So, but you know, she was an amazing woman. She along with a lot of women, endured humiliation.
Yes.
And many, I mean, she's not the first. She's just one of many.
One of many.
Endured a lot so that women on a whole can do something in this industry they call music. And she was born with this amazing gift.
Yes. Yes.
How many other people have been born with this amazing gift that has been exploited, and you probably never hear from them, or if you do hear from them, it's through exploitation and maybe not even scratching the surface of of what they came here to bring. That's separate. What they came here to bring and do is absolutely separate from spiritual growth. And I think a lot of times these people, we don't get that. We don't comprehend that. You know, your life purpose is to rise spiritually. Now, what you do to maintain this physical existence so that you can have that spiritual growth is separate.
Yes.
You know, but
yes, yes.
Thank you so much for calling in. We got one more caller, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
All right, Islam.
Right, Islam. All right, caller. This caller is showing up as 111111. You are on the air.
Yes, greeting, Anna E. How you feeling? This is Brother Val.
I'm doing great.
That's great. I like how you touching on this topic. You've been touching on it for so many times, and it's good that you keep touching on it with the health and, you know, the condition of the mind, where everything starts from. So I wanted to ask a few questions. I wanted to know, why do most Moors, right, like say in general, the unconscious ones, because it's a lot of them, that don't get it when you explain it on many of your shows with Anna E., with Mizrael and Cujo, that, you know, everything starts somewhere in the beginning, which is focal point is health. Health is the foundation of all things, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So if health starts in the beginning, that makes a healthy mind. So if you're eating the right healthy foods, as much as you can get, because we live in an environment that's so bombarded, and we under attack and assaulted from all directions. We try to do the best we can. Why do most of us don't get it? That this is a focal point of taking good care of your temple so it can produce the reversal, which can be done to better oneself, to clear up the thoughts, the ill wills, the dementia, the psychosis, the spell. That's all under that umbrella. When they start cleaning up their diets and sweeping out the toxins and, calcifying that pineal gland. So the lights and the vibration, because everything is working on frequencies. Why most of us don't get it from your knowing?
Well, that's easy.
That's
absolutely easy. It's just not time for them to get it. When it's time for them to get it, they'll get it. See, the thing that most people don't, is, look, you didn't get it. You couldn't have got it until you were ready for it. And so we need to give other people that same courtesy. We can't give somebody what it ain't time for them to get. And when it's time for them to get it, we ain't got to give it. That whole thinking about, I'm going to go wake up the world, that's false. Your job is not to wake up the world. Your job is to wake up you.
Right.
People want to be martyrs. When somebody is focused outside of themselves, that is an indication of ego. The ego is activated because it's not about anything outside of yourself. Everything is about inside of yourself. So you got to go within. Most people are battling themselves. They're battling themselves, really. 9 out of 10.
Well,
hey, that's the only thing you can. That's the only thing you can battle.
Right. Because I know that everybody wants to be a savior, but they don't even want to save themselves half of the time.
Well, look, and damn near all her life. Guess what? Everybody, when we say study, people think, I'm going to study for a year and then I got it. No more studying. No, studying is a lifelong journey because we are not simple. This is not a simple thing. This is it's not, when I say it's simple, it's complex, I don't mean that it's complex that you can't figure it out. I mean, it is so complex. There's so many different tentacles going in so many different directions. You are going entire life to journey on however many tentacles of information from in yourself. It's going to take you a lifetime to tie it all together. So for anybody who thinks, I'm going to study for a year and now I got it, you're fooling yourself. You can't. It doesn't work that way. Nothing happens that way. That spiritual growth, your spiritual growth, that's a lifelong thing. But as long as people are so busy about everybody else, they don't take the time to look at themselves. I can tell when people are busy about. I can tell when people are not busy about themselves. And you know what? In Bible, that's trespassing. You can't trespass on somebody else's space because you have no knowledge of somebody's space. You have no knowledge of somebody's, life's purpose. You don't know what their lessons are. You can only know what your lessons are, which is why that's who you need to be focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your next question? Because we are.
What is that mainly when you see people in? I know you always say catch-up mode. We in catch-up mode, and dealing with different entities that we live amongst. Like we already understand the Europeans are who they are and where they were created from, and how they accelerate and getting where they at mainly versus the, the Nubian woman versus the European woman. How are they able to, get to where they got to go, and they still half of the time they get along with mainly with everybody, even though they got hidden agendas most of the time, or it's a deploy, or it's a throw off. So
All
you
right,
see a lot of others that falling into these into these categories, getting sucked up into that.
Well, that might be, but again, it's people have life lessons, and so if they're whatever situation anybody finds themselves in, that is a lesson for them, and so that's all there is. There's nothing else. But you are off topic, for the sister standing on law.
No, I know. You guys are throwing it out there anyway.
All right, because we like to stay on topic, especially since this was a great topic, and
right.
And we want to end on that topic. So,
okay.
Did you have something to add to the topic of today's discussion? Or did you have a question?
I wanted to add that, the woman is everything in all things. Everything is her and everything is going to be of her at the end of the day. Because she bathed you, she brought you up when you was a baby to the point where you got to be mature enough to be out on your own, to succeed in life, no matter what the odds are.
All right.
And that's all I wanted to touch on.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for your call, and peace and love to you.
All right. Peace and love.
All right. Well, looks like that is the conclusion of another amazing broadcast. I want to thank everybody who participated in today's conversation, and I am trusting that this thinking will continue. I should say the thinking of it all should continue, because this is something that we all, every last one of us, has to first and foremost think about. We have to think about what we're discussing today. We have to think about it in the context of how it was given. If we don't think about these things, and if we don't, start to have conversations, if we don't begin to make corrections, mothers, this is on you. This is on you, mothers. If you don't wake up, if you continue to remain asleep, if you continue to fight against your sisters who are out there, trying to do something to wake up your sisters. This is about waking up mothers. But see, this is about the young and the yet to be born. So that's who we're here to say. Everybody who is grown here now, this is not for you. Whatever you're here now for is about making sure the young and the yet to be born has a place. We don't make sure and change our psyche and start producing daughters that are awake, we won't be here. We will be an extinct people. And so with that, Sister Cynthia, I thank you so much for reminding me about the passing of our most noble and illustrious sister, Aretha Franklin. She was an amazing woman, and I want to dedicate today's broadcast to her and to all mothers, because you need to wake up. It's not going to be easy, but it is doable. If we link up, we keep our head to the sky, we will make it. Islam.